You say yes when your body screams no. You agree when your soul rebels. You smile when you want to cry. And deep down, you know it's killing you. If this feels like I'm reading your mind, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you struggle to say no to the most. I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Let me tell you something nobody wants to hear. Your inability to say no isn't kindness. It's fear. It's the fear of being abandoned, of being seen as difficult, of losing love that was never really yours to begin with. You learned this young, didn't you? You learned that love was conditional, that acceptance required performance, that being wanted meant being useful. And now, decades later, you're still performing, still auditioning for approval that never comes. Here's what Nathaniel Branden understood about self-esteem. When you don't value yourself, you become a slave to everyone else's expectations. You become addicted to their validation because you refuse to give it to yourself. Every yes you say when you mean no is a betrayal of your own soul. But here's the truth they never told you. The people who truly love you want you to say no. They want your authentic self, not your people-pleasing mask. The ones who get angry when you set boundaries. They never loved you anyway. They loved what you could do for them. John Bowlby's attachment theory shows us that our earliest relationships shape how we connect with others. If you grew up believing love meant sacrifice, that being needed meant being loved, then your nervous system learned to equate saying no with being abandoned. Your body literally panics when you try to set a boundary. You feel guilty, don't you? When you even think about saying no, your chest tightens, your stomach churns. That's not your conscience speaking. That's your childhood trauma. That's the scared little kid inside you who learned that disappointing people meant losing love. Carl Rogers called it conditional positive regard. You received love only when you met certain conditions, only when you were helpful, accommodating, selfless. So you learned to twist yourself into shapes that weren't you, just to keep the love flowing. But here's what you need to understand. That wasn't love. Love doesn't come with conditions. Love doesn't require you to disappear. The people who drain you, who take and never give back, who guilt you when you try to create space, they smell your fear. They sense your desperation for approval, and they exploit it. Not because they're evil, but because wounded people wound people. They learn to take because nobody taught them to give. Alfred Adler believed that all human behavior is driven by the need for belonging and significance. You say yes to everything because you're trying to earn your place in the world. You think your worth is measured by your usefulness, but you're not a tool, you're not a resource, you're a human being deserving of love just for existing. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're teaching people how to treat you. You're showing them that your feelings don't matter, that your needs are negotiable, that your time has no value, and then you wonder why you feel so empty, so exhausted, so invisible. The exhaustion you feel isn't from being busy. It's from being untrue to yourself. It's from living a life that isn't yours. It's from carrying everyone else's emotions while neglecting your own. You think saying no makes you selfish. But let me ask you this. What's more selfish, taking care of yourself so you can show up fully for the people who matter, or burning yourself out and having nothing real left to give anyone? Your no is not a rejection of others. It's an affirmation of yourself. It's saying, I matter too. My feelings matter too. My time matters too. Listen to me carefully. You have been programmed to believe that your worth depends on your availability to others. That your value is measured by how much you can sacrifice. That saying no means you're ungrateful, difficult, or unloving. These are lies. These are the chains that keep you trapped in a life that isn't yours. You've been carrying other people's responsibilities on your shoulders for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to be free. You've been managing other people's emotions for so long that you've forgotten how to feel your own. You've been solving other people's problems for so long that you've forgotten you have needs too. Here's what happens when you can't say no. You become a magnet for takers. You attract people who need to be needed by someone who needs to be needed. It's a sick dance, and you're both the victim and the enabler. The friend who only calls when they need something. The family member who guilts you into fixing their mistakes. The partner who takes your endless giving for granted. The boss who knows you'll never push back. They all found you because you wear your inability to say no like a neon sign. But here's the deeper truth. You're not just afraid of their rejection. You're afraid of your own power. You're afraid of what would happen if you actually honored your own needs. You're afraid that if you stopped being useful, you'd have to face the terrifying possibility that you might be worthy of love just as you are. Nathaniel Branden taught us that self-esteem is not about thinking you're perfect. It's about knowing you're worthy of love and respect, especially your own. When you can't say no, you're telling yourself that everyone else's needs matter more than yours. You're treating yourself like you're disposable. Your body keeps the score. It remembers every time you said yes when you meant no. It remembers every time you smiled when you wanted to scream. It remembers every time you put everyone else first and yourself last. And now it's exhausted. Now it's sick. Now it's breaking down because it can't carry the weight of everyone else's expectations anymore. Here's what will happen when you start saying no. Some people will be shocked. Some will be angry. Some will try to guilt you back into compliance. Let them. Their reaction tells you everything you need to know about why they were in your life. The right people will respect your boundaries. They'll even be relieved that you're finally being honest. They'll love you more for your authenticity, not less. But first, you have to learn to love yourself enough to disappoint others. You have to value your own peace more than their approval. You have to choose your own healing over their comfort. Start small. Say no to one thing this week. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Notice that the world doesn't end. Notice that the people who matter don't leave. Notice that you're still lovable, even when you're not useful. Your no is a complete sentence. It doesn't need an explanation. It doesn't need an apology. It doesn't need a justification. No is a sacred word. It's the word that protects your energy, your time, your soul. Remember this. You are not responsible for other people's emotions. You are not responsible for their happiness. You are not responsible for their problems. You are not responsible for managing their reactions to your boundaries. You are responsible for your own life, your own healing, your own joy. The people who love you want you to be happy. The people who don't will try to convince you that your happiness is selfish. Choose the people who celebrate your boundaries, not the ones who violate them. You know what the saddest part is? You've been saying yes to everyone else for so long that you've forgotten what you actually want. You've been so busy being who they needed you to be that you've lost touch with who you really are. You've been living everyone else's life while your own dreams collect dust. But here's the miracle. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to something that does. Every boundary you set is a door you open to your authentic self. Every time you choose yourself, you're teaching the world how to treat you. The voice in your head that says, "But they need me," is not your voice. It's the voice of everyone who ever made you feel like your only value was in what you could provide. It's the voice of conditional love, of transactional relationships, of people who confused your kindness with weakness. Your real voice, the one that's been buried under years of people-pleasing, is whispering something different. It's saying, "I matter. My dreams matter. My peace matters. My happiness matters." That voice has been waiting for you to listen. It's been waiting for you to remember that you're not just here to serve others. You're here to live your own beautiful, messy, authentic life. The people who truly belong in your life will not only accept your boundaries, they'll be proud of you for setting them. They'll see your growth and celebrate it. They'll understand that a person who respects themselves is capable of deeper, more genuine love. Your life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is your one chance to be authentically you. Stop wasting it trying to be who other people need you to be. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Say no. Say it with love. Say it with respect. But say it. Your future self is counting on you. Your peace is counting on you. Your authentic life is waiting for you on the other side of that simple, powerful word, no. The world needs who you really are, not who you think you should be. And you deserve to finally meet yourself.